believe that the promises of the Constitution are being broken with the current regime in office, especially with the violations of free speech and due process. So we are coming together to do a long walk in the tradition of a bunch of amazing activists from the past, and we will be delivering the Constitution to Congress and ask them to uphold their oath that they took to enforce the Constitution. We think we have a lot of modern problems right now, but actually an old solution can solve a lot of them. And if we just go back to basics and follow the rights that are in our Constitution, then we can turn the country around.
Hi guys, I'm Maggie. I'm one of the organizers for the march. Yeah, we're here. We did it. As my co-organizer MJ likes to say, it takes 3 people to start a movement. 1 person to dream up a crazy idea, 1 person to believe in that crazy idea, and 1 person to convince the world they aren't crazy. When we first talked about marching from Philadelphia to DC, people said it was impossible. Who would take 2 weeks out of their life to join us? It was too long, it was too difficult, it was a logistical nightmare. Yet here we are. We found 72 crazy people. Yeah. A movement can start with just 1 person, but it takes a community to sustain it. Thank you to our team of organizers who spent every Monday evening for the last 6 months huddled around computer screens hashing out those logistic nightmares. Yeah. Thank you to our on-the-ground partners in Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, and DC for their tireless work, dedication, and faith. Thank you to our mentors whose years of organizing experience became the foundation of this march. Thank you to the curious kids who created this Constitution for us to carry to DC. Thank you to our marchers who have sacrificed your time, your finances, and your comfort to march with us. We appreciate your commitment. And finally, thank you to everyone standing with us today, from our passionate speakers to our fabulous MC, to all of you who've chosen to walk with us today. Our tagline is, we march for more reasons than there are miles. Each of us has a different reason for marching, but only by working together can we achieve these goals. So, let's march. So now we're going to introduce our wonderful MC, Brita Filter. She's a world-renowned drag superstar and a political activist. She's the national co-chair of Drag Out the Vote, who uses her art and activism of drag to engage people in the political process. She aims high, but her style is anything but pure. Please welcome, from RuPaul's Drag Race, Brita Filter.
Hi everyone, how are you? I'm so honored to be here. For those of you that don't know me, I am Brita Filter. I am anything but pure. I'm so excited to be here with you today. I'm gonna perform this song. You know, I've never done this before, where I've been in half drag, top on the top and then a boy on the bottom. It's very interesting for me. But we are going to march today, and I was like, I gotta be comfortable in this humidity. That's right. This is a very special song for me. It is from the musical Suffs, and it is called Keep Marching. Hit it.
You won't live to see the future that you fight for. Maybe no one gets to reach that perfect day. If the work is never over, then how do you keep marching anyway? Do you carry a banner as far as you can, rewriting the world with your imperfect pen, till the next stubborn girl picks it up in a picket line over and over again, and you join in the chorus of centuries, chanting to her. The path will be twisted and risky and slow, but keep marching, keep marching. Will you fail or prevail? Well, you may never know, but keep marching, keep marching, 'cause your ancestors are all the proof you need that progress is possible, not guaranteed. It will only be made if remember every mother that you can praise. Learn as much from our successes, our mistakes. Don't forget you're merely one of many others on the journey every generation makes. We did not end in justice, and neither will you. But still we make strides, so we know you can too. Make peace with our incomplete power and use it for good, 'cause there's so much to do. There's so much to do. The pains will feel small and the loss is too large. You'll rarely agree with whoever's in charge. 'Cause your ancestors are all the proof you need that progress is possible, not guaranteed. Keep marching on. 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 Our path will be twisted and risky and slow, but the world can be changed. We've done it before. So keep marching, marching,
Thank you so much. If you're like, what was she doing? That's a lip sync. She was lip syncing. I was pretending. All right. Are you ready for our next speaker? All right. I am so excited to bring up Rabbi Michael Pollack. Let me introduce them. They grew up in Maryland and moved to the Philadelphia area in 2012. During his last year at the Reconstructionist Rabbinical College in 2017, he co-founded March on Harrisburg, a group dedicated to making corruption illegal, taking our democracy where it's never been before by passing anti-corruption, pro-democracy bills in Pennsylvania. Michael is, that's right, woo! Michael is also a statewide tri-chair of the PA Poor People's Campaign. Woo! He lives in Cheltenham with his family, and his hobbies include convincing politicians not to be corrupt, long marches through the Pennsylvania countryside, and sitting down in inconvenient places in the state capitol. Please give it up for Rabbi Michael Pollack.
Good morning, everybody. I remember standing here about 9 years ago in this exact same spot. We kicked off a march from Philadelphia down to Washington, D.C. called Democracy Spring. And on that march, a bunch of people, we were walking and talking, and we were thinking, well, we got to do something back in Pennsylvania about this. We have to keep this march going. We cannot let this end. 9 years later, here we are, March on Harrisburg. The fight continues. You all are about to go on a march. Raise your hand if you're marching. Woo. When you are on this march, I hate to tell you this, you're not going to have that much to do. You can't be on your phone. You're going to trip and fall. Please don't do that. You're not going to be in the office. You're not going to be taking calls. You're going to be walking and talking with the person next to you. You're going to be getting to know people as you march. And you're going to talk about, well, what do we do? We're doing this now. What do we do next? What are we doing now? What are we going to do? And I hope that you have really productive, fruitful conversations. Whose first time is this? Who's marching for the first time? This is what you do now. This is who you are. All of you. Whether this is your first time, your second time, or your 10th time marching. This is what you do now. You do democracy. I'd like to take a step back and look at what money in politics means, what corruption is, what it does, and try to get at why we're living in the chaotic times that we're living in here. Corruption makes it so that public officials do not interact with the public in an honest way. As it says in Deuteronomy, do not take a bribe. A bribe blinds the eyes of the wise and twists the words of the righteous. As it says in Isaiah, your rulers are rebels, partners with thieves. They chase after bribes. The widow and the orphan's cause does not come before them. When bribery is legal and systemic, when corruption runs the day, when the guy with the gold makes the rules, the people are not seen, the people are not heard, and we suffer in indifference. Last night, 1 in 8 children in this state went to bed in deep poverty. 1 in 6 went to bed hungry. This is the deep indifference. This is what corruption causes. 10% of Pennsylvanians have medical debt currently sitting in collections. This is what corruption does. Corruption blinds us from each other. It deafens us to each other. It makes it so that our public officials do not see or hear us, and they only respond to those who can pay to play. Does anybody here have $300 million to buy an election and get yourself a plum position in the White House? Well, then you don't get to play. It's that simple. Here in Pennsylvania, money enters politics in a number of ways. Unlimited gifts, unlimited campaign contributions, unlimited side jobs. The chair of the Environmental Committee in the Senate is a paid attorney for the gas companies. Totally legal. Unlimited independent super PAC spending, secret money that comes in with no names attached, spreading messages like hate your neighbor, blame your neighbor. It's all their fault. Money enters politics in Pennsylvania in many ways, and that corruption keeps the legislature from loving the people. Who here rides SEPTA? Why can't we fund it? There's no good reason. There's no good reason. The funding gap in SEPTA equals the subsidy that the state gives every year to the horse racing industry. $250 million a year. Makes no sense. We lose $1 billion a year because massive multinational corporations stash their profits in Delaware. You don't need to go to the Cayman Islands. Delaware's right there. That's 4 times the funding gap for SEPTA every year. And that's not even on the table in Harrisburg. They don't even talk about that. Because lobbyists who show up with campaign checks are going to stop showing up if you start taxing corporations, if you start taxing the rich. And so they just don't do it. Corruption blinds us to each other. It makes us not see each other's suffering and respond accordingly. Now, the opposite of that is democracy. Democracy is when people are in charge, when we see each other and respond to each other. When power is with the people. When we come together to solve our problems and we declare we are responsible for one another. A state legislator once said in a meeting, "I don't take bribes, so I'm okay. I'm not responsible for what my colleagues do." And that's the attitude of corruption right there. I'm not responsible for them, for anybody. And she said, "My Judeo-Christian values say that I am only responsible for myself." And so we went a little biblical. We said, in the first chapter of, in the first book of the Bible, in Genesis, Cain kills Abel. One brother kills the other. And he's asked by the divine, "Where is your brother?" And the brother responds, "Am I my brother's keeper?" And the rest of the Bible is the answer to that question. And the answer is yes. We are all responsible one for another. We are all responsible for each other. We cannot sleep at night while 1 in 6 children in Pennsylvania goes hungry. We cannot sleep at night while Pennsylvania pumps out 1% of the world's greenhouse gas emissions. We cannot sleep at night while kids can't get to school because the bus isn't funded, because we'd rather give subsidies to crypto miners in northern Pennsylvania. By the way, it's $91 million a year right there. Democracy is when we come together, when we see each other, when we respond to each other, when we are responsive to each other and for each other. Marching is one of the great tactics of democracy. And you all are going to go march 140 some miles down to DC. It's a hell of a march. Have fun, folks. It gets a little hilly in northern Maryland, but I'm sure the food's going to be great, so it's going to be good. And when you're on that march, you're going to be meeting people who you've never met before, talking with people from different walks of life that you normally would not interact with. And I urge you to build that solidarity, build that responsiveness, build that responsibility. Love your neighbor. Love your neighbor as you march. Build that community, and let that community carry you into the future. Because people, this doesn't end in 2 weeks when the march is over. This ends when we get to democracy. This ends when we have a government of, by, for the people. This ends when decision-making power is held by the demos. My friends, we're living through a crisis right now. The law of our economy is the guy with the gold makes the rules, right? Ask any multinational corporation, who has decision-making power? Whoever has the most shares, whoever has the most money. $1 equals 1 vote. And that economic system has conquered our political system of 1 person, 1 vote. You cannot have $1, 1 vote next to 1 person, 1 vote. Democracy has been conquered in a hostile corporate takeover. And we have to win it back. We have to win democracy so that we can do great things, so that we can love each other, so that we can care for each other, so that we don't have 800 people a day dying from poverty in the richest country in the history of the world, so that we don't have 140 million people in this country living paycheck to paycheck. This is absurd. We can do so much better. We have to do better. We will do better. And when we do, we'll have a world of love. So let's march on. Let's march on.
Yes, give it up for Rabbi Michael Pollack. All right, I'm very excited about our next speaker. It is State Representative Rabb, aka Rabb. For 5 terms, he has proudly stood in on behalf of the people of Northwest Philly. not as a politician, but as a public servant. He is a defender of democracy and democratic process and a fearless voice for justice, and a leader who shows up for struggles for freedom and equality across this state. At a time when democracy is under attack, Rabb reminds us what real leadership looks like. People over profit, community over chaos, and hope over fear. Please give it up for Rabb.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We the people. We the people. We the people. We is such a small word, but who does it encompass? And I struggle with we so often, particularly when I'm in this space. And it's deeply personal for me, because we in the 1700s was not we today. Am I right? And one of those founders who was in that building was my great grandfather. You all can clap, but he was a human trafficker. That's why I look the way I do. He owned hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of men, women, and children, and profited off the misery and the stolen labor of my ancestors. But he too is one of my ancestors. This is America. The worst of us, dictator talk, and the best of us who are standing amongst us today. All of it is our story. Painful, inspirational, and we have to own it. And it's important that I say that now in this space, because right there, the original White House, the president's house, black organizers in 2002 wanted to make sure that the story of enslaved black people were told, and for 15 years this has been here. But yes, absolutely celebrated. From people all over the world can understand the rich and complicated history of our nation and understand that George Washington did a lot more than cut down the cherry tree. He was an unapologetic enslaver. And now the Trump administration is trying to whitewash history and tear this down. While we are trying to march to Washington to practice democracy and to live up to the promise of greatness. Because you see, a nation that was built on stolen land and stolen labor can't be great until it embraces goodness. We have to be, is that not what we tell our children? Look at my shirt. I'm a proud black father, raising 2 black boys in a country that seeks to demonize blackness. But we are so much better when we come together, when we understand that our diversity is our strength. When we believe in a multiracial democracy that's not built on the largesse of billionaires, where we're not deciding, oh, Democrats, we like these billionaires, and Republicans, we like, no, we shouldn't even have billionaires. People, that's called excessive wealth disorder. We don't want it. What we want is shared prosperity. What we want is to bring together communities of struggle. And it's a term I use a lot, and I want you to embrace it. Because all of you who are here today, whether you know it or not, are members of communities of struggle. We wouldn't be walking, and I say we, broadly, because I ain't walking to DC. You're members of communities of struggle. You wouldn't be here if you didn't realize that there was a struggle to move towards the beloved community that Dr. King talked about. You're here because you believe in the struggle for humanity, for democracy, for all of these things that make our country richer in the most meaningful sense. Not in the financial sense of wealth, but community wealth. That's what we're fighting for, people. That's what we can do when we come together. And only when we're in solidarity. It does not mean we all have to think the same, dress the same, speak the same, but we have to have the same vision for a world that does not demonize our neighbors. I'm here because I'm your neighbor. That's when people say, why are you showing up, this isn't your district, or you're not running for office, or this or that. I'm like, because you're my neighbor. And wherever I go, I'm gonna run into my neighbor. And I am so inspired by all of you who have chosen to be on the side of justice, to be on the freedom side. Because you're not standing on the sidelines and doom scrolling, and we all have our moments. You're doing the work. And as my grandmother, who was a community organizer, used to say, everybody has a role. And I just want to leave you with this. What does that mean? It's a real basic statement. Everyone has a role. It means that today, in this moment, you may be preparing to walk 160 miles to DC. Raise your hand if you are not one of those people. All right. But all of us who raised our hands, we have a role too. These folks got to get fed. They have to be protected. We have to amplify their courage and leadership doing the right thing. Some of us can give money. Some of us can organize on the ground. There's so many things that we can do now, but we have to resist. We cannot obey in this nonsense, this chaos. We can do this, and we have done it, because the only thing that has moved us to the promise of greatness has been this kind of struggle, through these social movements that have brought more people into the fold. It didn't just happen. We made it happen. It wasn't an elected official. It wasn't a political party that did this. It was people on the ground living their values and doing the work. We are doing the work. We are defending what is a very tattered iteration of democracy. Because let's be honest, folks, we are not in a democracy now. But if we want one, we have to make sure that we fight for it and make sure that everybody is protected. We leave no one behind. No one behind. We are great when we decide who we are. And you know what, folks, as I look out at this audience, we are fabulous. There's a lot of collective fabulosity that I'm looking at. And I appreciate all of you. And please, please, keep the struggle up. All right, let's do this. Let's march to justice.
That's right, baby. We gotta resist. All right, I'm excited to bring up this next speaker. Our next speaker is Deborah Ciamocca. They are a former high school social studies teacher, businesswoman, and Marine Corps officer and nonprofit leader. Recipient of the Navy Achievement Medal for Leadership Excellence and PECO Energy Teacher of the Year Award, and former president of the Tradifin. There you go, I got it. Easttown Education Association. Deb believes that education allows her success and is a strong proponent of school as vehicles for upward mobility. Please give it up for Deborah A. Ciamocca.
Thank you so much. I stood years ago as a young Marine Corps officer and raised my right hand. I swore an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That oath wasn't just words. It was a promise. A promise that the Constitution, not any one person, not any one office, would guide our democracy. Later in life, I became a high school government teacher. Every day, I stood in front of young people and explained to them how our system of checks and balances worked. I taught them that Congress makes the laws, the president carries them out, and the courts interpret them. I told them that the founders had the wisdom to prevent tyranny by making sure that no one branch could ever dominate another. And in 2020, I put my own name on the ballot and I ran for state representative in Delaware County. I narrowly lost, but I gained something more important, a deep belief that people are hungry for accountability, honesty, and leaders who are willing to do their duty, even when it's hard. From the battlefield to the classroom to the campaign trail, I've seen what happens when leaders rise to the occasion and what happens when they don't. And today I have to tell you, Congress is not rising to the occasion. The founders gave Congress enormous responsibility. They hold the power of the purse. They are the ones who declare war. They are the ones who must oversee the executive branch. Yet too often Congress has abandoned these responsibilities. Presidents of both parties have stretched their powers through executive orders, emergency declarations, and unchecked military action. And too often, Congress has simply looked the other way. This is not about Republican or Democratic. It's not about left versus right. This is about whether we still believe in a system our Constitution gave us. Because when Congress refuses to act, when it refuses to do its job, it isn't just a branch of government that fails, it's the people who lose their voice. So here's the truth. Congress won't act unless we make them. That's why you all matter so much. That's why activists are the heartbeat of democracy. What can you do? You can flood congressional offices with phone calls and letters. You can demand hearings, demand oversight, demand accountability. You can write letters to the paper. And more than anything, you can put one foot in front of the other and march to DC and tell Congress, we are not going away. A single voice can be dismissed, but thousands of voices, united and relentless, cannot be ignored. In the Marines, no one got to walk away from responsibility. In fact, we had a saying, leaders eat last. That credo meant that I made sure that Marines who worked for me had everything they needed, food, water, rest, so that they were in a good place to get the job done. Today, we have too many self-serving leaders in Congress who are looking out for themselves, who are eating first and putting the people last. They aren't leaders, they are cowards. In my classroom, students learn that rights come with obligations. I had students read the great documents, not just the Constitution. I had them read the letter from a Birmingham jail. In that letter, Martin Luther King urges us to take nonviolent action against unjust laws, for individuals to be courageous in the face of injustice. King said that a law that degrades human personality or contradicts moral law must be resisted. What do you think King would say about masked men taking people off the streets without probable cause? About deporting citizens to other countries? About throwing kids in jail? Would he say that we should turn the other cheek? Would he think that Congress should stand by and do nothing? And in my campaign for state representative in 2020, I saw firsthand that democracy only survives if ordinary people are willing to fight for it. My best friend said to me, why are you running and putting yourself in danger? Why are you knocking on doors when people don't care anymore? Why are you working 18 hours a day? Politics is a cesspool, and you are too good for this. I told her, what if we all abandoned this government in this country? What if we leave the country to a bunch of congressional millionaires who only care about themselves, and the billionaires who fund their campaigns, and the special interests who perpetuate the gun violence, the pollution, and the corruption? How can we look away? We cannot. This moment demands of each of us to band together, to walk together, to march together for a better future for us and our kids. We can't look away. I swore an oath to defend the Constitution. I taught young people to believe in it. I ran for office because I know it still matters. And today I am here to tell you it is time for Congress to do its job. Do its job. Do your job. Do your job. Do your job. Do your job. If we fight together, we can restore balance. If we demand accountability, we can protect our democracy. The time to act is now. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, next up I'm going to bring Tim Brown, director of the Philly Neighborhood Network, March director of Democracy Spring 9 years ago, and a valued mentor of the We Are America March. Give it up for Tim Brown.
Man, I was here 9 years ago. I can't believe I have to do this again, you know? Thought we were gonna kill fascism. You know, if you take a glance over your shoulder here, you're gonna see the building where our nation's most sacred document was signed. And we're here today to march to Washington, D.C., to step off from here, to go all the way down to our nation's capital, to remind these people to do their job. Now, we do this as an overt act of resistance against what everyone can clearly see is an authoritarian attempt to take over our country, to betray us and to betray our Constitution. To be clear, we have entered the most dangerous time in our nation's history since the Civil War. During that war, we actually had a president who believed in democracy. Today, we do not. And now America finds itself at an inflection point. The Republican Party has completely capitulated. The Democrats are treating it like business as usual, waving paddles, writing sternly worded letters, and breathless emails to raise money for the next election. Meanwhile, this regime is running roughshod over our nation. And the Supreme Court, who is supposed to be adjudicating our laws, has given this tyrant free rein to ignore any laws he doesn't like. And now, under false pretenses, a sitting president has sent federal troops into two major American cities in a show of force. And let's be clear, this is a practice run for the 2026 midterms. Okay? The felon-in-chief is looking for any excuse to declare martial law to send his troops and loyalists into our streets, and we're going to stop them. Now I'm going to tell you a truth that nobody really wants to hear, but it needs to be said out loud. Nobody is coming to save us. In a nation where we've gotten used to having a government that kind of worked, all the usual safeguards have fallen away. The cavalry is not coming to ride to our rescue, folks. The cavalry now works for the dictator, okay? And it is left to us to save ourselves. And this is a sobering and scary thought. Now, I'm not going to tell you that I have all the answers, but I'll tell you this. If we don't stand together to find those answers, we're going to have ourselves a worse nation. Which brings us to this moment. If we're going to survive this, we must find our courage. Okay? So, are you with me? Okay. If you want a nation that represents all of us, no matter our color, no matter our creed, no matter where our ancestors came from or who we love, then stand up and be counted. Let's hear it. If you're tired of being pushed around by bullies and dictators, then stand up. Together, we're going to make a difference. Thank you for coming out to march today.
Now, we're going to march. Are you ready? Now, I got a question. Right before we march, I wrote some words. Do you mind if I say a few words real quick? All right, okay. Pulls out a giant piece of paper. 5 pages long. Yeah, right. All right, so standing here, Independence Hall, we're about to kick off this historic march. And I really want to be real with you. Getting ready today, I was really nervous. I was really worried about everything. I was worried about what I was going to wear, how I might be in drag, what people might think of me. You know, usually I'm wearing a really beautiful outfit. I'm on television, so people are always judging me. I was worried if my asthma would act up, if my back could handle the 15 miles. I was even worried about waking up at 5 a.m. to paint this beautiful face this morning and get into drag. Thank you. But let me tell you, here's the truth. None of that really matters. What really matters is that I showed up today. And what matters is that you showed up today. And that's what this moment is about right now. We are standing at the birthplace of American democracy, carrying a copy of the Constitution 160 miles to Washington, D.C. Yeah, think about that. The same document that's supposed to guarantee liberty and justice for all. Yet those promises are being broken every single day by our current president and his crooked administration.
Get rid of the bastard!
Get rid of the bastard, that's right. We march because corruption and dark money drown out everyday voices. We march because our climate is collapsing while leaders look the other way. We march because our bodily autonomy is under attack. Our votes are under attack. Our freedom to learn and speak is under attack. We march because liberty and justice are supposed to apply to everyone, not just the wealthy, not just the powerful, not just the few. Scrolling through the news, it can feel like staring into an endless clock. Voter suppression, book bans, government-sanctioned cruelties, billionaires hoarding wealth while people can't afford food, people can't afford rent. It's enough to make you feel powerless, to make you feel like your voice doesn't matter. But here's the thing. People are standing up. Teachers, parents, librarians, students, veterans, drag queens. People are organizing in school board meetings, at rallies, in the streets. And today, here in Philadelphia, we are bringing that energy together. Now listen, this march is part of a long tradition in our country. When regular people act together without violence, they move the country forward. Listen, as John Lewis taught us, they get in good trouble, honey. Now, I think about the labor marches, the civil rights marches, the women's marches, the Stonewall rights marches in 1969. Progress never starts in those halls of power. It starts when ordinary people like you and me stand together and we say, enough is enough. And that's exactly what we are doing today. And I have to be honest, I was afraid that I might have to sit this one out. I went to my spine doctor yesterday and they said that they went over my MRI and they were like, you have degenerative spine disease from 12 years of doing drag and wearing heels. And you know, they were like, we suggest that you don't walk in this march because it's just not the best idea for you. But I knew that I had to be here because when something is this important, you have to push past the doubts. You have to push past the fear, the discomfort, and you have to show up. And that's what each one of you has done. You've shown up. You said, I'm willing to take these steps for my community, for my country, for the future that we all deserve. That is really powerful. And we aren't just walking for ourselves. We're walking for workers who can't take the next 2 weeks off, for the young trans kids who are scared to speak up, for the next generation inheriting this country. We are carrying their voices with us. And we are carrying the Constitution to Washington as a reminder that these rights are not for sale. They belong to us. And we are here to collect on that promise. So here's what I want you to remember as we begin this 160-mile journey. It doesn't matter if you're tired. It doesn't matter if you're nervous. It doesn't matter if your feet hurt, your back hurts, or if you didn't sleep enough last night because you've never been to Philly before and you were at the bar until 2 a.m. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you're here right now. What matters is that we are all walking together as a community, as a movement, as a country. Every mile, every step is a declaration. We are not powerless. We are not alone. We are America. So let's take this fire that we felt at this rally today, that hope, that solidarity, and carry it all the way to DC. And let's show this country what democracy really looks like. And let's make history together.
Let's go. We gotta sing. I'm a civil rights old lady. So ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Sing, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. We're gonna keep on a walking. Come on, keep on a talking. Walk to freedom land. Ain't gonna let injustice. Ain't gonna let injustice turn me around. Come on, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let injustice turn me around. Keep on a walking, keep on a talking, walking up to freedom land.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. All right, are you ready to begin this march?
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Fight back!
Fight back!
Donald Trump has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho!
Donald Trump has got to go! Hey, hey!
Ho, ho!
Donald Trump has got to go! Hey, hey!
Donald Trump has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Donald Trump has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Donald Trump has got to go!
We don't want this fascist bullshit! We don't want this fascist bullshit! We don't want this fascist bullshit!
No Trump! No Pence! This regime has got to go! No Trump! No Pence! This regime has got to go!
Black Lives Matter!
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 Black Lives Matter! 1, 2, 3, 4! We know what we're marching for!
1, 2, 3, 4!
We know what we're marching for!
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
No Trump! No KKK! No fascist USA! No Trump! No KKK! No fascist USA!
No Trump!
Immigrants are welcome here. No ICE, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here.
We march to DC to keep America free!
We march to DC to keep America free.
We march to DC to keep America free! We march to DC To keep America free!
We march to D.C.
To keep America free!
We march to D.C.
To keep America free!
Hey, hey, ho, ho! Trump and Pence have got to go! Hey, hey, ho, ho! Trump and Pence have got to go! Hey, hey, ho, ho!
We march to D.C. To keep America free!
We march to D.C. to keep America free! We march to D.C. to keep America free! We march to D.C. to keep America free! We march to D.C.
It means that you're not.
We march